Hello everyone, how are you going? Welcome to the Terry Fox story, something that I know a little bit about and was amazed by, but now let's expand that and just be blown away.
Maybe I won't make it, but if it's up to me, I think I can do it.
Terry Fox was an 18-year-old from British Columbia when he was diagnosed with bone cancer in his right knee.
Right.
Amputation and chemotherapy left him with an artificial leg.
Yeah.
And memories of those still in the cancer ward.
Oh. Honestly, this is going to be one hell of a video to get through because I know how much, just from watching people's comments and just seeing all the videos, I know how much of an icon this guy really is. Everyone goes, why isn't he on our currency? Why isn't he remembered in this way and this way? Because he truly is remembered as such a hero. To be fair, from what I've heard, I don't think he ever set out to be anyone's hero. It was just something that he was very passionate about, obviously had first-hand experience in it, judging by the fact that he lost his right leg to cancer, of which I am unsure that the Heritage Minute ever told me. I don't believe it ever said anything about his knee. I think I would have remembered that one particular detail. But to be diagnosed with something like that at 18 years old would be absolutely earth-shattering. You know, you're going from just living your best life, doing all the things you usually do, and then all of a sudden, everything's just flipped upside down. And so when we listen to him speak and see what his goal was, you go, okay, that's pretty insane, but he wasn't delusional at all about the entire thing. He goes, look, I understand there's a massive ask, but I think I can do it.
Kids my age and younger, and you just can't leave something like that and try and forget it, and I couldn't anyway. I had to try and do something about it.
And so he did. Terry trained on his new leg for 14 months, then told his family that he would run east to west across Canada, hoping to raise $1 million for cancer research.
It's just insane.
On April 12, 1980, at the easternmost point of Canada, it began, the Marathon of Hope. And Terry would do it by running 26 miles. A marathon every single day.
Oh. Honestly, I don't know what he was made of. I mean, he was made of more than just himself and his pathetic leg. He was made of just everything that so many people aspire to be. Because that sounds ridiculous, but it hurts me to see him running like that. You know, it's such a lopsided, uneven gait the entire way. It just would have been throwing his entire back out. It's kind of like a half skip. And look, they said that he trained for 14 months, and so I can only imagine what it would have been like in the start. Just your entire body aching, not knowing what it's really doing anymore. But then I guess over time and through the repetition of just running, your body would get used to it. And I'm sure there would always be some kind of pains and chafing, all those kind of things mixed in there. But honestly, when he had his mind set on that massive goal, to dream that big means all those inconveniences just fade into the background, especially after you've already gone through chemotherapy and the amputation itself. You've already gone through so much that even though in the moment you might be going, wow, this is actually really giving me some pain, the next day you get up and do it again because your goal is your goal. And like you said, I think I can do it. So of course you think you can do it. And I just wanted to double check what a marathon really equaled, because I was fairly sure it was about the 40k mark, but 42 Ks. How far actually is that if you wanted to run it every single day? I mean, this is going to be as the crow flies, so what's it going to be? 22, 30, 40, what is it? Campbelltown. From London to Watford? No, further than that. Where are we going? Luton? From Los Angeles to where? Anaheim? No. Huntington Beach? I get that's a little bit too far, but that's in the realm of it. Look at it. And then finally from Ottawa to where? Russell? Winchester? Yeah, it's a little bit too far. Obviously we can't make the border, but my goodness, you really can see just how far this truly was.
A marathon every single day.
Ridiculous.
With his best friend Doug Allward and brother Daryl following in a support van, 21-year-old Terry would rise at 4 a.m. to run 12 miles, rest, then do 14 miles in the afternoon, seeking donations across lonely expanses of highway.
Look at that.
In Toronto, thousands cheered him. For Canadians, Terry had become an inspirational hero.
Of course, like look at him. You have people just giving charity on the middle of the street, coming out the front as though he's selling ice cream or something, but no, they're just donating instead of buying something. He's got nothing to give besides his time and his just ability, but that was everything he ever needed to give because his story alone was enough to bring people out of their homes in the thousands. Look at that, like to be able to support someone that is, in the scheme of things, doing something quite simple in terms of he's just running, but it was his story and his drive and his passion that just brought all of these people together just to accomplish or try to accomplish a goal. And so it is totally understandable why he's seen as such an icon and such a hero and such an inspiration for so many people, because there's not really other word to describe him as.
Terry had become an inspirational hero.
Look at him.
But what inspired Terry were the children he was trying so hard to help. Children like Greg Scott.
I'm crying now because there's somebody here right now who is going through the same thing that I went through. Exact same thing, and he's only 10 years old. And I had the most inspirational day of my life today.
And so Terry gave himself an afternoon off from the Marathon of Hope to swim with Greg. It was just the 4th day off in 137 days on the road.
Hang on a second, 137 days on the road. What? That means he had basically spent 4 months, no, more than 4 months, I guess a day off a month, just running a marathon a day. Like it's been said, there really isn't too many other ways to describe him besides inspirational, is there? Because even for him to say, I've had one of my most inspirational days today, just hanging out with this young man that has also gone through a very similar, if not the same thing that I have been through, and rightfully so, it brings him to tears because he's seeing standing directly in front of him the antithesis of his entire goal, all the time spent, all the exercise and energy and everything that has gone into it, the pain, the hurt, everything that has gone into accomplishing what he has done so far would kind of get chucked out the window because you would realize just the true scale of what you were trying to do and how long the road ahead is.
As he approached the city of Thunder Bay on September 1st, Terry Fox had run 3,339 miles.
Oh, gross.
He was on this stretch of road, at this white marker, when he asked to be taken to the hospital. From a stretcher, Terry shared the news of his diagnosis.
The cancer had spread, and now I've got cancer in my lungs. And we got to go home and try and do some more treatment. But all I can say is if there's any way I can get out there again and finish it, I will.
When you hear stories like this, it really gives you a different perspective about how much one person can change the world. You read a figure $500 million, and yes, it's a massive amount of money, but the amount of awareness and everything else that this one young man was able to do for the entire world, I can only imagine. Yes, it's centered around Canada, but truly, it would have spread just internationally. It would just be so far above and beyond what anyone would have originally considered to be possible, Yes, when he started running, he had a bit of media attention, and then as we saw throughout this entire video, he suddenly had people just lining the seats and lining the stands, families and friends just lining the roads in the middle of nowhere, just getting ready for his arrival, just to kind of catch him going by, to congratulate him and to support his cause. And so for all of that just to be wrapped up and swept away in one foul swoop after hundreds of days of effort, thousands of kilometers, and even probably millions of steps, for that to all just to be ended from one little stretcher in the back of an ambulance just to go, I can't do it anymore. And as much as he had already showcased that he didn't need both full legs to be able to accomplish just an insane task, really once it starts to spreading to your lungs and you've lost one of your legs, just your body just really isn't going to be able to cope with what you were trying to push through it. And I feel as though if I was suddenly thrust into his position, I mean I wouldn't be in his position because I could never do what he's done, but if I was suddenly thrust into his position right there, I think the most annoying thing and the most heartbreaking thing for me would just be that my body is overall letting me down. Like I said, my mind and my drive and everything is there. I'm trying to accomplish this goal, but I'm just unable to do it, and that would be so frustrating.
We got to go home and try and do some more treatment. But all I can say is if there's any way I can get out there again and finish it, I will.
That line is just haunting. The fact that he is just like I said, the drive that is pushing this man just to do what he really, really wants to accomplish to do. If there is any way for me to get out there again, I will. And from what we learned merely seconds later, Terry passed away on June 28th, 1981. And I can't imagine that he ever accomplished to run another meter, another mile, another anything of that resort. But honestly, I don't actually think that makes any difference, because as heartbreaking as it might be that he never got to actually accomplish his goal of running from east to west, I think that goal pales in comparison to the true goal of the entire operation, and that is to raise awareness. And so if you take a step back and look what he was able to accomplish, he's an absolute hero, an absolute inspiration, and so many things. And yes, it's an absolutely tragic story, but it's not tragic because he didn't set out to do what he tried to do, because he absolutely accomplished that. It's tragic because we lost such an incredible human being. But anyway, in saying that, I reckon I'm going to call it there. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to do the YouTube algorithmic things down below. Also, if this is the first video of mine that you are watching, then make sure to go check out any other ones I've done, maybe even the original Heritage Minute. Also, make sure to go check out the original video down in the description below, or hey, maybe even just want to consider subscribing so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.